Hello and welcome. This is Bloomberg Queen's roundup of all the stocks that are in focus today. But I'm going to begin with the benchmark index. When it comes to the Nifty, we're looking at a little bit of an up move. Do remember, it is the expiry and we've finally seen rollovers pick substantially. So currently standing at around 55% as against a 54% average over the previous 3 months. But that said, there are plenty of stocks in focus today, and I'm going to start off with the biggest of them all, Lupin. Shraddha, take us through what the management has said. I know the numbers came during market hours, but there was a lot of points to be made even after that.
Right, so there's just more disappointment coming in for Lupin. Yesterday, the stock had tanked nearly 5% in the immediate aftermath of the numbers. It's an immediate reaction, but paired some losses and ended just about 1% lower after the company said that the big miss in the profits was on account of two exceptional items. However, today the stock is tanked more than 5.5%. That's a top loser on the Nifty as well as the Nifty Pharma Index. The management has told us that the pricing environment in the US continues to remain challenging and that they do expect to see price erosion in US to continue even in FY18. That's what the CFO told Bloomberg Quinn. Again, muted growth guidance coming in for FY18 given the ongoing challenges in all of Lupin's big markets. That's US, India and Japan, all the three regions where they are facing pressures to reduce drug prices. Again, they plan to launch about 25 to 35 new products in US in the next financial year, decent number. In a separate development, Lupin has also received 6 observations for its indoor facility. However, the company has maintained that these are procedural observations and none are related to data integrity. Now, what are brokerages and analysts saying on it? Well, most of them have retained their positive stance on the company, but there have been price targets up to about 20% owing to the recent stock price correction that we've already seen. However, analysts do remain cautious on the structural changes that are happening in the key geographies and the uncertainties that the company, not only Lupin but all other pharma companies, which have a majority of their revenues coming from the US, could face. But what went wrong with Dish TV numbers? Because that's another stock which is really taking a tough beating.
Yes, it's down as much as 10% for now. We're looking at a bottom line that is loss making for now as against a profit on a year-on-year basis. A bottom line loss of as much as nearly 24 odd crores as against a profit of well over 480 crores year on year. We were looking at a decline in subscription revenues by as much as 11%, and as a result we've also seen a fall in the average revenues per user. It's been a very weak quarter for Dish TV, and that's also the reason why you're looking at substantial weakness going in. But coming down to Raymond, what are the latest developments there?
So we've seen the stock really slipping now 3.85% lower in the morning deals. It's after the Institutional Investor Services put up a note which says that in the forthcoming meeting that the board of Raymond is going to have on 5th of June, it's going to offer to sell its premium real estate projects at a throwaway rates to its promoters and their extended family. Now, Institutional Investor Services has suggested against this transaction, and it is also believed that should this transaction go through, there would be an opportunity loss of over 650 crore for the company coming in. However, the Raymond management is yet to comment on this development for us. The other stock which has really been and is garnering a lot of attention is Bharat Financial Inclusion and Jain Irrigation. Jayesh, could you please take us through?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a bunch of stocks on my radar as well. The first one being Bharat Financial. Now, in the morning there has been a note by Credit Suisse, and they have in fact upgraded the stock with a target price of about 8%, and that's the reason that you can see that the stock is reacting positively on that note, up about 6% odd. The other one that deserves mention is the likes of HDIL, which saw Goldman Sachs buying more than 0.5% equity on that counter. On the earnings front, I have Jain Irrigation that delivered good to decent set of numbers. On the other hand, TVS Sri Chakra not doing that well on the operational front. If you look at the numbers closely, the stock, both of them are down. So, Jain Irrigation, the revenue up about 10%, the EBITDA also jumped about 10%, whereas TVS Sri Chakra, not so good on the operational side. There was a decline in the margins from about 15.6% to 13.99%. Aside from earnings, bulk deals and upgrades, but there is something that Nikki has picked up on the capital goods front. Nikki, take it away.
Yeah, sure. Before the capital goods sector that I'm going to address, before that I'm just going to talk a little bit about PNC Infra. Of course, there is a disappointment coming in for that stock. We've seen that stock trading now 1.5% lower. It is disappointment on all fronts for this company. Top line growth has dipped by 40 odd percent, coming at 350.60 crore. This is due to muted execution on account of delays in getting appointed dates for various projects. Again, on net profit front, there is a disappointment coming in. Though the comparable YOY figure is not going to be comparable because of the MAT credit seen in the base year. However, it's below the estimates that we're looking at for the company. That's that in terms of PNC Infra. Jayesh, also talking a little bit about the BSE capital goods space. We're seeing that index now moving close to 0.5%. This is after the Union Cabinet approved a policy for providing preference to local supplier in government procurements. Now, you might just see that for the procurements which are of the order of less than 50 lakhs, obviously the local bidders will stand to gain from these orders. They have their preference over this. For the orders which are above 50 lakhs, now they will have an opportunity to match up with the bidder, with the lowest bidder, if that local supplier is within the 20% range of the lowest bid. So that might just go well for the capital goods stock just on the face of it. Well, that's all that we have for you in the morning roundup. This is all that we have for you. Thank you so much for stay tuned into Bloomberg.